My name's Gavin. I'm a reporter for KESQ. I do the weather and reporting on the day-to-day. KESQ News Channel 3, we're the Fox, CBS, and ABC affiliate here in Palm Springs. We tell stories every single day about the community, and a lot of the times when we're sourcing our data for these stories, we need to have some sort of background to know how it's affecting our local community. And the issue with that is that there's not a whole lot of data sources locally. A lot of the data that we see is national. Those numbers broadly represent either the state, California, or Riverside County, or even just the entire nation, United States. So yeah, so I've actually used HARC data in a couple of stories that I've done. One of them that comes to mind is one that I did on senior falling. So we have a senior population here in the Coachella Valley, and there was a falling class, how to fall safely class, that a local gym was teaching. And to get the data for what that means locally for us on how many seniors are injured in falls every year, we went to HARC and we saw that data firsthand, and it helped strengthen our report.
My name's Jennifer Braun, and I work as an independent contractor for organizations in the Coachella Valley specific to youth development. So Boys and Girls Club Coachella Valley, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and various other nonprofit organizations. Usually my greatest challenge is supporting the need for the grant. Many organizations have the idea of that need because they see it every day in the work that they do, but really having the background and understanding of getting that data and being able to put it into the narrative is really the biggest challenge for most. There's many funders that say, well, we fund Inland Empire, but they're only funding in Riverside Metro, San Bernardino Metro. And here in the Coachella Valley, our demographics are different, and we need to be able to prove that. Mental health, it's a big concern in the Coachella Valley, and it's always been painted as far as Riverside County youth are experiencing a mental health crisis. But now we have data that shows specifics to the Coachella Valley. So because of that, we've been able to secure funding that helps to provide mental health support services, not just in a clinical basis, but in areas such as Boys and Girls Club, where they now have a mental health specialist on site in many of the clubhouses during the month, so that youth can be able to have that interaction with a professional and maybe not be in a clinical setting where kids feel so scared to share their feelings, but now they're in a trusted space and really can get the help that they need.
Craig Johnson. I'm the Executive Director for Jewish Family Service of the Desert. JFS provides primarily three main programs: mental health counseling, our case management program. Then our case managers help people when folks reach out to us for anything other than counseling. And then the third program is our community outreach program, and that's really our fun programs. Our Let's Do Lunch program, our Cafe Europa, which is specifically for local Holocaust survivors. The goal of those programs is to reduce isolation, primarily in the senior population. HARC's data has been instrumental in helping us obtain grant funding. Before HARC, a lot of it was internal evaluation responses, a lot of subjective data that was not objective at all. And quite honestly, it was relegated to our own personal experience. And so HARC's data, providing information that's valley-wide, has really helped us establish a need with grantors that may not otherwise realize there is a need for a service. Just because we tell them there's a need, with HARC's data, it makes it very crystal clear that the community needs something, and it's not just us asking because we want their financial support. The sample size that HARC's able to offer helps the funders realize that these needs are real and they're valley-wide, so much more compelling needs assessments. Approximately 30 or 35% of our agency funding overall comes from the grants, making it possible for us to help our survivors with things like rental assistance, mortgage assistance, durable medical equipment, food, transportation, you name it. It really has become a lifeline. So we're so very proud of that, but without HARC data, it wouldn't have been possible.
Hi, my name is Oscar Ortiz. I'm a council member for the City of Indio, representing District 4. I represent District 4, which actually has the highest poverty rate within the City of Indio. And some of the challenges that we see with that is there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of assumptions that happen when we're dealing with issues in our high poverty communities. And so one of the struggles that we have is finding the data to be able to tell the true stories and the facts of what's happening in those communities and why those impacts are happening. One of the ways that data has helped us make good decisions here in the city of Indio is when we're talking about housing. I remember initially when we started to bring up the topic of affordable housing, we started getting the pushback that, oh, this is going to be housing that's going to bring a lot of drug dealers and it's going to be a lot of problem and crime. And we were able to show people through the data that half of our community here qualifies for those affordable housing projects. And that really shifted the conversation, and we were able to bring a lot of those stories in to back up that data in what we're seeing in our community. We can just be a lot more confident in what the outcomes are going to be of our investments when we have good data to make those decisions. One of the things that I really appreciate about HARC's data is we see the trends over the years. And in those trends, we can see the impacts of different policies that'll either bring up those trends or down, right? And we see the impacts of different policies that are being made at the federal level, at the state level, and at the local level. We see those impacts here locally. And so then we're able to better predict the outcomes of our investments, of our decisions, and of our new projects here in the city of Indio.